We live in the noisiest world in human history. Notifications, messages, gossip, endless demands for our attention. But Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, knew something that most of us have forgotten. Strength is born in solitude. He wrote in his journal, the words never meant to be published, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is the secret of Stoicism. The strong are not made in crowds, in applause, or in endless conversations. They are made in silence, in solitude, and yet today we fear solitude. We mistake it for loneliness, when in reality it is the birthplace of clarity, self-mastery, and power. In this video, part 1 of our series, we're going to explore the difference between solitude and loneliness, why most people fear being alone, how Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca practiced solitude daily, and how you can begin retreating into yourself, not as an escape, but as a weapon. Most people confuse these two words. Loneliness is emptiness. It is being with yourself and feeling like something is missing. Solitude is fullness. It is being with yourself and realizing nothing is missing. Seneca said it clearly, "I never spend a day in idleness. I either read or write or reflect. In solitude, I am least alone." The weak avoid solitude because they cannot stand the sound of their own thoughts. They seek distraction, noise, and company because silence exposes their emptiness. The strong seek solitude because they have learned that silence is not a void, but a mirror. Why does solitude scare us so much? Psychologists today call it the fear of being with oneself. It's why people scroll endlessly on social media, why we fill every silence with music or conversation. Because when we are left alone, the truth about our lives confronts us. Marcus Aurelius faced this same fear. Imagine, emperor of the world's most powerful empire, surrounded by advisors, generals, flatterers. Yet he often wrote to himself in the quiet of the night. Men seek retreats in the country, by the sea, in the mountains. You too desire such things. But you can find at any moment a retreat into your own soul. Solitude is not about where you are. It's about the courage to face yourself without the mask you wear for others. Marcus ruled during wars, plagues, and betrayal. He could not escape the noise of Rome. Yet his strength came from his practice of inner retreat. He wrote, "People try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains, but you can get away from it all anytime you like by going within." For Marcus, solitude was not about abandoning responsibility. It was about pausing in the storm to remember what is in my control, what is not. This is the heart of Stoicism. Every night, Marcus withdrew into himself, reviewed his day, reflected on his mistakes, and reminded himself of his values. This practice of solitude gave him strength to face betrayal, political games, and even the grief of losing children. Epictetus was born a slave. He had no privacy, no possessions, no external freedom, and yet he discovered the most profound solitude, the retreat into one's own mind. He said, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can overpower my will." His solitude was not physical isolation, but mental sovereignty. He understood that even in a crowd, even in chains, a person who guards their inner world walks alone and free. For Epictetus, solitude was the refusal to let anyone dictate his peace. He didn't need silence in the world to have silence in himself. Seneca, advisor to Nero, lived in the heart of political corruption. He was surrounded by danger, gossip, and manipulation. Yet he wrote letters from solitude that still change lives today. He warned, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is mutual." But he also added, "As soon as you withdraw from the crowd, you will find yourself." Seneca practiced solitude by writing, by reflection, by meditation. For him, withdrawal was not abandonment of society, it was preservation of self. The Romans had the noise of the marketplace, we have the noise of the internet. In fact, researchers today say the average person touches their phone over 2,000 times per day, constant notifications, constant distractions. Marcus Aurelius warned us of this in advance. If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential, which brings a double satisfaction, to do less, better. Our addiction to noise is not new, it is simply louder now, and the cure remains the same: retreat into yourself. Solitude is how you cut through the noise, regain perspective, and remember what matters. So how do we practice this today? One daily retreat. Spend even 10 minutes without phone, music, or conversation. Write, reflect, sit in silence. 2 evening review. Marcus ended his day by reviewing his actions, where he lived with virtue, where he failed, where he could improve. 3 walk alone. The Stoics believed in walking as meditation. Seneca wrote many of his letters in solitude while walking. 4 digital fasting. Just as the Stoics practiced fasting of the body, we can fast from screens, apps, and endless noise. 5 journaling. Not for others, but for yourself. Like Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, words written in private, never intended to be shared. Solitude is not the enemy, it is the beginning of freedom.
Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all knew that solitude was where the self is rebuilt, where strength is forged, where clarity is found.
But this is only the beginning. In part 2, we will go even deeper. How solitude transforms you into someone rare and unforgettable. Why the strong walk alone, and why this threatens the weak. And how true solitude leads not to isolation, but to sovereignty. So if you are ready, join me in part 2, where we uncover why solitude is the weapon of the strong. In part 1, we uncovered how Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca used solitude not as weakness, but as strength. We saw how solitude is not loneliness. It is the ability to retreat into yourself, to preserve your mind in a noisy, demanding world. But solitude is more than protection, it is transformation. When you embrace solitude, you become rare, you become mysterious, you walk a path that most fear, and because of that, you gain a power that most will never know. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." When you stop depending on others for validation, attention, or distraction, you step into a new kind of freedom, the freedom of the strong. In part 2, we'll explore how solitude transforms weakness into strength, why the strong walk alone, and why this unsettles others, how solitude leads to sovereignty and self-mastery, and practical ways to use solitude to rebuild your life. When you first step into solitude, it feels uncomfortable. The silence feels heavy, your mind races, doubts surface. But if you remain, something profound happens. Marcus Aurelius described it. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. and it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. Solitude gives you distance. You stop reacting immediately. You begin to see how much of your suffering comes not from events themselves, but from your thoughts about them. This is the transformation. In the noise, you are reactive. In solitude, you become reflective. In noise, you chase approval. In solitude, you learn sufficiency. In noise, you are pulled by every distraction. In solitude, you reclaim your focus. It is not an escape, it is training. Most people cannot endure solitude. They panic when left with themselves. They seek constant company, constant validation, constant stimulation. This is why those who embrace solitude stand apart. Seneca said, "The greatest man is he who is most alone." This doesn't mean rejecting society. It means you are no longer enslaved by it. The strong walk alone because they do not fear themselves. They can sit in silence without needing to fill it. They can stand apart without feeling diminished.
And here's the paradox. The more comfortable you are with solitude, the more powerful you become in society, because you do not need anyone. And when you do not need, you cannot be manipulated.
This threatens people. They will call you cold, arrogant, distant, but what they really fear is your independence. Marcus Aurelius never tried to impress the crowds. He even wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." When you embrace solitude, you stop living for others' opinions. You stop explaining yourself. You stop performing. And suddenly people see you as a mystery. This mystery creates respect, because what is always available is taken for granted, but what is rare becomes valuable. Think about it. A person who always says yes is ignored.
A person who sometimes says no is noticed. A person who withdraws into solitude is remembered.
Your absence begins to carry more weight than others' presence. This is not arrogance. It is the natural gravity of someone who has mastered themselves. The Stoics saw solitude as the path to sovereignty, mastery of self. Epictetus taught, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." In solitude, you realize how little you control in the world and how much you control in yourself. You cannot control gossip, rejection, betrayal, but you can control your judgment. You can control your silence. You can control your response. And when you can control yourself, no one else can control you. This is why solitude is the throne of sovereignty. It is where you sit as ruler of your own mind. Marcus Aurelius described life as a process of returning to yourself. Withdraw into yourself. The rational principle that rules has this nature, that it is content with itself when it does what is just, and so secures tranquility. In solitude, you stop playing roles for others. You remove the masks, you stop living as the person society expects you to be, and you rediscover the person you actually are. This is what modern psychology calls individuation. The Stoics understood it centuries ago. Becoming whole is impossible without solitude. The rebirth that happens in solitude is painful because it kills the false self, but it is also liberating because it gives birth to the true self. How can you practice solitude in a noisy world? The Stoics gave us tools. Morning silence. Begin each day not with your phone, but with yourself. A few minutes of journaling, reflection, or quiet breathing. Midday, withdrawal. Marcus often paused during the chaos of court to retreat inward for a moment of clarity. You can do the same. Step outside, close your eyes, breathe. Evening review. End your day like Marcus did. Write down what you did well, what you failed at, and how you can improve. Weekly solitude. Take a longer walk, a day offline, or time away from constant interaction. Protect this time as sacred. Sacred journaling. Write not for others, but for yourself. Remember, Marcus never meant for his meditations to be read. They were simply reminders to himself. Why do people fear your solitude? Because your independence exposes their dependence. Your calm reveals their chaos. Your silence unmasks their noise.
When you no longer need them, they realize how much they needed you. Marcus Aurelius warned us.
The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do. When you embody this, you become dangerous to those who live off manipulation, gossip, and control. So here is the Stoic challenge. Can you walk alone? Can you retreat into yourself, not as escape, but as mastery? Can you embrace solitude, not as punishment, but as privilege? The weak fear solitude because they fear themselves. The strong embrace solitude because they have made peace with themselves. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all remind us, solitude is not abandonment. It is not loneliness. It is the foundation of freedom.
So ask yourself, who are you when no one is watching?
What do you hear when the noise fades?
Can you stand in solitude without reaching for distraction?
If this message resonates with you, write in the comments, I walk alone. Because when you can walk alone, you are never truly alone. You walk with strength. You walk with peace.
And you walk with the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius himself.